Today, I'll show you how to do this cutout transition.
I got 100 on my dash, got 200 in my trunk.
And make sure you watch to the end of the video. I'm going to be diving deep into every single thing you need to know, and I don't want you to miss a thing. Let's get right into it. All right, so I'm in Premiere Pro, and I have my song.
I know. I got 100 on.
You know, the viral song everybody is using for this trend, as well as the Creed little compilation video that we're going to make this effect with. And one thing to note is I have linked a project file completely for free below in the description. So if you want to see the effect, play around with it yourself, get the music, get everything, it's all in the description. Just click download, totally free. So the first thing I already did was just trim out some unnecessary parts of the song that I don't want. So it's really just, I have this a bit of a lead up right here. And then I have the bass hit. And really my intention here, instead of just starting it from the bass hit, was to have a little bit of lead up. So it kind of starts a bit slower, especially because this is for social media. We want to build a contrast and build tension between the very beginning and when the beat hits. So I have this little bit right here. And then I have the beat hit, so it's going to build a little tension as we add in our clips, which you will see down the line. But the very first thing you want to do after cutting the part of the song you want to use is make markers on each of the beat hits so we know exactly where we want our cuts to be. And you can do this by just scrubbing through, listening with your ears and checking the waveforms for when each beat hit is, and then just press M on your keyboard. So let's do that now. So there's one right here. As you can see, this marker popped up on the top of our screen. There's one right here, so we're gonna do M again.
I got one.
There's one right here.
Got 100. Got 100.
One right here. 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 And if you play it back, you'll see each marker occurs directly on the beat hit.
I got 100 on my dash, got 200 in my.
So what you can do if you accidentally add a marker by accident, you can just double click on it and then just press delete. But before we move on, I just need to remind you guys that we're posting at least one new tutorial every single week. So if you want to continue to become a better video editor, learn more tips and tricks, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, letting us know what you want to learn next. Back to the video. So now we know exactly where the clips need to be. Next step is just to go through your footage, whatever it is, whether it's, you're using this Creed footage or any other footage, just will work with whatever clips you want and cut out clips that will work best for this edit. So just very engaging stuff. And I'm just going to go through, I'm going to make my cuts. I don't really want videos of him training, but I want videos of him actually boxing. So we're just going to go through and cut out about 10 to 15 clips. That should be more than enough. And then I'll get back to you when we're all set with that, when I have all my clips ready to go. All right, so I cut up my clips. There's a bunch of different shots that we can use to just all cut together. And one thing I did do was just add in 2 shots at the beginning and 1 shot at the end, just to add a bit more of a story to it. And, like I said, build that tension in the beginning. So as you can see here, I have a shot of him training and then a shot of the bell ringing. So these are 2 kind of setup shots to help build tension before the actual beat hits come in and we get into the actual fight. So I'm just gonna drag these 2 clips to the very beginning and just cut it right here and have it be right before the first hit. Like that. So this will be the start of our video. And now what we want to do is just one by one add in clips in the order you want. It's totally up to you what order they be in. And how to think about this whole video in terms of the effect is you kind of want to have 2 layers. One layer with kind of base footage that's not super interesting, and then you have another layer with your main footage. This is where you'll apply the edit effects. This is the footage that you want to stand out the most. So we're going to add our base footage first, and then we're going to go back and add in the real super cool cuts that we can make edits to that will really make this video pop. So we're going to add in footage like him training, running. This is going to be the background footage. This is just clips of him training. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we're just going to drag that in here, and we're going to drag the rest of our clips over here. So this is what it looks like now. And one thing to note, as the last shot, I do have this blood splatter thing going on. I just think it's a cool way to end it. So this is what the video looks like right now. just with cuts, no effects.
I got 100 on my dash, got 200 in my trunk. Name in the grab bags, put my Bible.
All right, so we need to make this a lot cooler. That's what we're gonna do now. And it's actually pretty easy to do this. It's a bit time consuming, depending on how much you wanna do and how many clips you wanna do this for, but the opportunities are really endless here. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna drag in our second layer main footage, which in this case is going to be this shot, just a little back and forth between them. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring this to our very first marker, right aligned with it. So it looks like that. But to spice it up, we're going to create masks and kind of section this off into completely different panels. What do I mean by that? You're going to click on your clip, you're going to go to opacity, you're going to click the square, or something to know, I prefer doing squares in more traditional shapes, but you can do anything. You can do diamonds, you can do custom shapes, really whatever you want. But we're just going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it easy today and just do squares. So I'm going to click this square button. My vision for this is to just have like a bunch of like skinny parallel lines all coming down that I can kind of space out to kind of make like a piano appearing effect. I don't know if that's what you call it, but that's what we're going to do. Drag this up, drag the bottom down. And you know what? We're going to make this a bit skinnier. So we're going to drag our points and just make it skinnier. And then I'm going to drag this all the way to the end like so. We need a lot more of these. So to do this, we need to duplicate this layer as many times as we want the shot to show up differently. So let me explain. What you'll do, click on the clip. If you're on Mac, hold Option and drag up. And then click on your second layer, click on mask, and just move it over a little bit so there's a bit of a gap between them. Again, hold Option, drag up to duplicate again, click on the top layer, go to mask, move it over. And you're just going to do this again and again until the full screen is filled up with it. Just like that, just like that. Just keep going. Mask over and try to align them so there's even spacing throughout. And I think we just need one more after this. One final option, click drag, go to mask, and we'll do this end layer. So now it looks like this. And you might want to remove the bottom layer if you want it to be black, which might be cool. Yeah, I think I like that better. So what you need to do now to make them all appear staggered instead of all at once, you'll just go here, highlight the clips, and just bring them in like a couple frames. And this, just like an accordion, each time you make one start a bit later than the other. And then I'll show you the effect it makes.
I got 100.
So now this is the process you're going to use over and over again for each of your clips. And you can always change the shape. You can change which direction the lines go in. But I want to add a bit more of a different effect. And we're going to now rotoscope part of the clip. So it's just the guy getting punched. Because what I want to do, my vision for this, he gets hit right here. And basically, I want him getting hit to stand out above these clips. So it's kind of like him cut out. So this is the shot I want to be rotoscoped right here and have it just be him getting punched. So it lines up with this punch right here. So we're going to drag this to this point.
I got 100.
And as you can see, it lines up perfectly.
I got 100.
But I think it'd be more visually appealing if we rotoscope this so it's just the background. Now, one thing to note, depending on the time you're watching this, I know Premiere Pro has a built-in rotoscope feature in beta right now, which I, for some reason, haven't been able to access, but maybe you have access to it, or maybe it's further down the line. But for now, we're just going to select in and out points to export this into After Effects, and After Effects is really good for rotoscoping, so we're going to do that quick now. Once you export, open After Effects, drag in the clip you just exported, drag it into new composition, double click on this layer, go up to this rotoscope tool and just draw around as perfectly as possible. That's perfect. And just press spacebar to render. It's perfect. Now, if you go back to composition and just go to file, export, add to render queue and render. So we have this cutout of him. We have the green screen in the background, and we're just going to go to color key, cut that out, drag it on your clip, eyedropper, green, and just cut it out as cleanly as possible, increasing the color tolerance until it's perfect. Edge thin about 3, and that's perfect cutout. And we're gonna perfectly align this with the original. Pretty cool, but we need a background to really make this stand out. So we're just gonna drag this other layer below it, and now it looks like this.
I got 100.
Not bad. Let's keep going. The edit will start to come together the more we do. We want to do more cutout effects. So we're going to bring the clip again to our next marker, new clip. This time it's this, pretty cool. And again, in the same way we did before, we're gonna click, make sure our clip is selected, go to mask, click this rectangle. And this time I want these to go across like this. And we're just gonna position it at where we want. Maybe make it a bit bigger, align it exactly with where we want the location to be. And then we're just gonna duplicate this again and again as many times as we want, just moving the mask to different areas. And then offsetting these so they align with the beat markers. All right, and this is what the whole edit looks like as of now.
I got 100 on my dash, got 200.
Pretty good, but we need to finish this end off, and I think we'll have something real good. So I might do one more layer, gonna drag in another clip and just do another horizontal mask and just match the beat. So you're just doing this again and again for each clip, duplicating the clip for every mask so it appears differently on your clips.
100 on my dash, got 200.
It's a little off. Let's move these two forward.
100 on my dash, got 200. 100 on my dash, got 200.
And I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to cut forward until I have it done for all my clips. Then we'll go back, make more adjustments. But it really is as simple as creating a mask for your clip, adjusting the mask to the position you want, and then duplicating the mask for every time you want a separate panel per se in your shot. All right, and here's what we got now.
I got 100 on my dash, got 200 in my trunk.
And as you can see, I love this little blood splat at the end. I think it's a perfect way to end it off. I'm just gonna trim that down a bit. So now let's spice it up a bit more. Let's add some audio effects and let's finish this thing off. Let's add some sound effects. Let's just make this a little better. And these are all skills you can use for any and all of your videos that will really upgrade them. So go to effects, search low pass, drag it onto your music layer and change the cutoff to 20,000. This is just normal sounding music. But as you can see here, when he gets punched, I want this to kind of turn into like an out of body experience. So we're going to dim down the music with this low pass effect. So we're going to go one frame before that clip happens. We're going to keyframe. We're going to go one frame forward using the keys on our keyboard and change this to 5,000. Then keys on your keyboard until the clip ends. Right here, keyframe 5,000 again. Move one frame forward and change it back to 20,000. And now you get this really cool.
I got 100 on my, I got 100.
It's subtle, but very effective in bringing the viewer in and immersing them into what's going on. So now some sound effects. I like to use Artlist. I think they have some really good sound effects. And the first sound effect I'm going to be using today to start the video off is a bell sound effect. If you're using Artlist, it's called Boxing Melch Bell Ding Crowd Cheering. And I'm just going to drag it in so it perfectly aligns with the clip. And just making adjustments until it's perfectly aligned.
I got 100 on my dash, got 200 in my trunk.
Now we need some punch sound effects. I'm only using two different ones. It's all you need. The ones I'm using are boxing, single punch hard, and then firm punch with boxing glove. And I'm gonna drag these in, and I'm just going to align these perfectly with each punch. So right here, when he gets punched, we're gonna add the punch in right here. Make sure it lines up perfectly.
I got 100.
Perfect. That's perfect. And we're just gonna add in a bunch of other these, scatter them around until it sounds natural. And then the last little bit is I want to really immerse the viewers in the last shot, which is the blood splat. So we have this effect called body ripped apart blood splat that we align perfectly, and combine all these together. This is what you get.
I got 100 on my dash, got 200 in my trunk.
So pretty good, pretty easy. That is how you do this cutout effect or the Creed effect. And this is stuff you can use for any one of your videos. So if you made it this far, make sure to subscribe. Don't forget to check out Mirror Camp and join our online school for more.